on Global TV News Express. Nigerian Medical Association seeks more support for health workers. Northern Elders Youth Group demand apology from Nigerian leader over allegations. In business, Nigeria's gas output rises to 2.9% to 0.29 million standard cubic feet. On the foreign scene, China sanctions United States firms over Taiwan arms sales. And in sports, Confederation of African Football sanctions Equatorial Guinea, Libya, others over misconduct during 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Uyi Agmofwegwe. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. Chairman of Oyo State Chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Happy Adedapo, has appealed to governments to give more incentives to health workers and doctors to reduce the so-called Jagba syndrome in the country. Dr. Adedapo appealed in an interview in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, saying that the Jagba syndrome, which was one of the major challenges of health workers in 2024, would be reduced to its barest if the doctors are made comfortable. He noted that it is not too much for government to give car loans to doctors to encourage them and keep them in the system. Hence, the association is appealing to Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde to pay doctors working in the state the medical residency training fund, as well as the adjusted consolidated medical salary scales that the federal government implemented should also be implemented for doctors in Oyo State. Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohammed Goronyo, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to ensuring sustainable infrastructure development, modernizing road networks, and driving economic empowerment for all Nigerians in 2025. Goronyo stated this in his New Year message, saying the visionary leadership and steadfast commitment to the Renewed Hope agenda has set the nation on the path to transformative growth and development. He reiterated that the Ministry of Works, under the leadership of Engineer David Umahi, remains steadfast in delivering impactful projects that will improve the quality of life for every citizen. Kano State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it arrested 1,345 suspects and seized 8.430.239 kilograms of illicit substances in the last year. State Commander Abubakar Idris Ahmed made this known in an interview with a newsman in Kano, saying the suspects arrested comprised 1,301 males and 44 females. He noted that the illicit substances seized included hemp, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, codeine, and over 5 million tablets of tramadol. Let's turn to the south of the country now, where River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has vowed to frustrate any individual or group attempting to undermine his administration's efforts to deliver good governance to the people of his state. Speaking at the 2025 New Year State banquet held at the Government House, Port Harcourt, Fubara reassured residents that his government remains resolute in its mission to protect the state's interests. The governor declared that his administration will ensure it protects the integrity of the state at all costs and not allow anybody take the state for a ride. President Bola Tinubu says his administration is in no battle with state governors over the controversial local government autonomy. President Tinubu, in a statement signed by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, however, called for collaboration from the 36 state governors, highlighting their crucial role in grassroots development. According to the statement, the president said this when he received Vice President Kashif Shettima and members of the Nigeria Governors Forum, who paid him a New Year homage at his Ikoyi residence in Lagos State. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has reiterated President Bola Tinubu's commitment towards improving more dividends of democracy to Nigerians. Akume stated this at the Thanksgiving service held in honor of the Executive Director of Housing, Finance and Accounts, Federal Housing Authority, Matthias Buan, in Benue State. The SGF also called on youths in the state not to surrender themselves to the political class to be used as tools for destruction. The federal government has been urged to prioritize reforms in the country's transportation sector in 2025. Managing Director of Abojoni Transport Company, Ismaila Yusuf Atus, made the call in a New Year message, emphasizing the need for a more affordable, safer, and efficient transport system to address the rising challenges faced by Nigerians in the previous year. On a side note, 2 people have been hospitalized after the residents of Soje area in Minna, Niger State capital, clashed with some members of the Vigilante Corps. Reports say the clash was ignited by a raid carried out by the members of the Vigilante Corps as they went after people in the black spots in Soje area of the state, which is known as a zone for hoodlums and drug peddlers. While some of the residents who spoke to newsmen said the part of Soje that was raided by the vigilantes is not a part of the trouble zone. The public relations officer of the police in the state, SP Wasiu Abiodun, confirmed the incident, saying the police have always advised the vigilantes to work in synergy with the police. Abia State Governor Alex Otti has announced a ban on all forms of payments in primary and secondary schools across the state. Governor Otti, in his New Year address, underscored his administration's resolve to safeguard the future of the children. To ensure smooth school operations, the governor unveiled a new financial system for public schools, noting that head teachers and school principals are now entitled to specific sums every month for managing the day-to-day operations of their schools. A Catholic priest has allegedly shot a boy dead after the latter set off knockouts within the church premises during the New Year Mass held on January 1st, 2025 in Imo State. The sad incident is reported not only attracted reactions from social media users but also left the community in shock and mourning, with residents expressing outrage and demanding a thorough investigation to uncover the facts behind the unfortunate incident. Spokesperson for Imo State Police Command, Henry Okoye, when contacted, said the command is already aware of the incident, noting that an investigation has been launched into the incident. An unruly French citizen was reportedly deboarded by Air France at Abuja Airport on New Year's Day after causing security and diplomatic concerns at the aerodrome. The unnamed foreign national disrupted multiple flights, prompting security personnel to remove him from the aircraft and restrict his access to the boarding area. Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Michael Achimugu, shared details of the incident on his X, confirming that the passenger, whose identity remains undisclosed, was initially deboarded from an Air France flight due to disruptive behavior that posed a safety risk to other passengers. Elsewhere in the news, a group of Northern elders from the Northern Youth Group have rejected in totality the recent allegations made by General Abdurrahman Chani, military head of Niger Republic, against Nigerian President Bola Tinubu of conniving with France to destabilize his country. The Northern Elders, in a communique jointly signed by Yusuf Abubakar, the convener, Yeseo Ramadan Kano of the Youth Group, and Mustafa Aliyu Dusima of the Northern Elders Progressive Group, said they saw such unguarded utterances by Chani as irresponsible, lacking decorum, and unpresidential, hence they called for an immediate apology. The communique, read at the end of the 8th meeting of the Arewa Youth Coalition for Peace and Political Development and Northern Elders Progressive Group in Kaduna, stressed that Chinese allegations are baseless allegations capable of overheating the polity in Nigeria. You are watching the live broadcast of News Express on Global Television, coming to you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When the rest of News Express returns, Jeju Air CEO banned from leaving South Korea as police raid airports over a fatal crash. We'll bring you details of that story as well as more from business and sports. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. We now begin the second half of the News Express with business. The federal government has commenced the implementation of the 2024 withholding tax regulations, which was approved by President Bola Tinubu in July of 2024 and published in the official gazette in October. The revised regulations became effective on January 1, 2025, signaling efforts to modernize Nigeria's tax system designed to streamline compliance processes, reduce inefficiencies, and ease administrative burdens for businesses. Announcing the commencement of the new tax regime on New Year's Day, Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, said on his X account that these changes are particularly aimed at small and medium enterprises, manufacturers, producers, and farming sectors considered vital to Nigeria's economic stability and growth. An analysis of data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, shows the official exchange rate between the Naira and the United States dollar ended in 2024 at 1,535 Naira to the US dollar. This was a 40.9% depreciation over the year when compared to official rates at the close of 2023, which stood at 907 Naira 11 kobo to the greenback. The significant depreciation comes amid the CBN's reintroduction of several foreign exchange policies aimed at enhancing market transparency and attracting foreign investors. In a reflection of liquidity constraints in the interbank money market, banks borrowing from the Central Bank of Nigeria rose by 261.3% year-on-year to 106.3 trillion naira in 2024, from 29.42 trillion naira in 2023. The regulatory bank has two short-term lending windows for banks, namely the Standing Lending Facility (SLF) and repo lending, and while the Apex Bank lends money to banks through the SLF at interest rates of 500 basis points above the monetary policy rate, it also lends money to banks through repo arrangement, which involves the purchase of banks' securities with the agreement to sell back at a specific date and usually for a higher price. Nigeria's gas output has risen month-on-month by 2.9% to 2,292,951 million standard cubic feet in November 2024 from 2.2471 million standard cubic feet recorded in October of last year. On a year-on-year basis, the nation's gas output increased marginally by 0.02% to 2,297,951 standard cubic feet in the first 11 months of 2024. On the foreign scene, China Ministry of Commerce says it's sanctioned 10 United States defense firms over arms sales to Taiwan, its second round of measures against American companies over the issue in less than a week. According to the ministry, the firms will be prohibited from import and export activities or making new investments in China, while their senior managers will be banned from entering the country. China had announced sanctions on 7 U.S. military industrial companies, including Boeing subsidiary, as well as over U.S. military assistance to Taiwan. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol remained defiantly inside his residence, resisting arrest for a third day after vowing to fight authorities seeking to question him over his failed martial law bid. The embattled leader issued the bungled declaration on December 3 that led to his impeachment and has left him facing arrests, imprisonment, or at worst, the death penalty. Supporters and opponents of Yoon have since camped outside his presidential residence, while members of his security team have blocked attempted police raids in a dramatic standoff. Yoon has gone to ground but remained unrepentant as the crisis has rolled on, issuing a defiant message to his base days before an arrest warrant expires on January 6. South Korean police say the chief executive officer of South Korean airline, Jeju Air, Kim In-bae, has been banned from leaving the country after one of the company's planes crashed last week, killing 179 people on board. This comes after a South Korean police raided the offices of Jeju Air and the operator of Muan International Airport as part of the probe into the fatal crash of a Boeing 737-800 plane that killed 179 people. The flight was carrying 189 passengers from Thailand to South Korea on Sunday when it issued a mayday call and barely landed before slamming into a barrier, killing everyone on board except two flight attendants pulled from the burning wreckage. Away from that developing story now, let's take a look at sport for you. The Confederation of African Football CAF Disciplinary Board has convened to address several incidents and matters arising from the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 qualifiers and CAF Interclub competitions. Various teams and football federations faced sanctions for misconduct, security lapses, and fan disturbances during critical fixtures. According to a statement on CAF website, the disciplinary actions reflect the federation's commitment to maintaining order and upholding the integrity of its tournaments. The board's rulings are said to be aimed at curbing disruptive behavior and reinforcing security standards across participating nations and clubs. The verdict reached include that of Equatorial Guinea, sanctioned for security lapses and was fined $25,000. Libyan Football Federation penalized for supporter and official misconduct and was fined $50,000, and Benin penalized for non-cooperation and was imposed a $5,000 for this violation, among others. Marcus Rashford has blasted what he calls ridiculous claims that the unsettled Manchester star wants a new agent to fulfill his desire to quit Old Trafford. A report this week says England forward Rashford had met with a leading sports agency in a bid to engineer a move. The 27-year-old hinted how he would be prepared to leave United in an interview last month. Gabriel Jesus says he's determined to keep scoring as Arsenal look to end their more than 20-year wait for a Premier League title. Jesus, who was on target again during a 3-1 comeback win away to Brentford on Wednesday, the Brazil striker, scoring his 6th goal in 4 games, told newsmen that he wants to keep winning and scoring as well as helping the team. Arsenal have finished runners-up to City for the past 2 seasons and starts 2025 once again in 2nd place. And now let's end News Express on Global Television, but quickly a summary of some of our big stories. A chairman of the Oyo State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Happy Adedapo, has appealed to governments to give more incentives to health workers and doctors to reduce Japa syndrome in the country. A group of Northern elders, a youth group, have rejected in totality the recent allegations made by General Abdurrahman Ichani, military head of Niger Republic, against Nigeria President Bola Tinubu of conniving with France to destabilize his country. In business, Nigeria's gas output rose month-on-month by 2.9% in November 2024, cubic feet in October 2024. On the foreign scene, China Ministry of Commerce has announced that it sanctioned 10 United States defense firearms over Taiwan, which is the 2nd round of measures against American companies over the issue in less than 1 week. And finally, in sports, the Confederation of African Football CAF Disciplinary Board has convened to address several incidents and matters arising from the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 qualifiers and CAF Interclub competitions. And that's a wrap on Global Television's news here. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, start times 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. We encourage all of our viewers to follow us and engage with us on social media using that Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Wiyag Mofwebe saying a big thank you to you for watching. We will see you again.